Hello everyone, this is a quick tutorial how to use the Init editor in a decent way. These tools like new and open and save, I think you should know that. That is the movement widget, that is the translation widget, which only goes in these directions. That one is very important, that is the rotation widget, which rotates your building. By the way, I pressed Ctrl Y to get undo. The scale widget is not really working for buildings, but when it comes to markers on the map. Same with that area widget. You can change it like that, but you can also rotate it. So this is not really important, but that one is. Before I go to that one, I have to give you a few steps how to manipulate the position of your unit. If you press the left shift key, you can actually change the direction he's looking at, and if you press the alt key, you can actually move the height, the altitude of your unit or your building. So that is when it comes to that one. As you can see, if you move him upwards and downwards, he doesn't go under the ground. But if it's not enabled, or if it's enabled however, you can move him under the ground. For a unit it doesn't really make sense, but when it comes to buildings, it's probably sometimes very important. So that one as well will be helpful. As you can see, we have our building, we have our unit, and sometimes you cannot tell how, we have the shadow right now, but sometimes you cannot tell if he's on the ground or not. That tool will help you. That is actually a snapping tool. As you can see, look at the icon, the blue icon. Chip. You see that? So he's snapping to the ground. It's also working with different floors, and of course with the ground floor. So these are very important. So that one is a, as you can see, if it's not enabled, you can move them smoothly. You can rotate them smoothly. It's not a problem. But when it comes to these items, when you want to place them, when you place them next to each other, this can happen. You see that? That is not cool. We do not want that. So what helps you is the translation grid. You can also, you have that little arrow on their side which shows you how far it should be. Let's have it on 64 meters just to demonstrate it. As you can see, that is not really pointful. So we're gonna mostly I use it on like 1 meter. So what we can do is actually place them perfectly together so it looks perfect the same. Alright, that is that one. You can also turn it off. The same with that rotation grid. As you can see, 45, 40, and so on. You can also change the degrees here. That one is not really working because you would think that it goes for the altitude, but it doesn't. For the altitude, still that one goes as well. You see? So these tools are pretty useful. That one is, I don't really use it. So the Intel would change your weather, like the time. When it's very dark, it can be a bit annoying to build your mission. You can have that flashlight, which gives that camera we are in a little bit of a light. As you can see, it's not very bright, but it's better than nothing. Yeah, map is the map. Nightvision is the Nightvision, and thermal view, of course. So that right area here is objects, compositions, triggers, waypoints, system, and markers. So objects and props, we're gonna change it back to time, of course, daytime. So you can have all buildings here. You want to have, I don't know, supplies, ammo, I don't know. All buildings can be found here. All blue 4 units can be found here on objects blue 4. that includes also, I don't know, cars or tanks and stuff like that. To delete the units out of it, just go hover above that, and you can see here is the driver, here's the gunner, and here's the commander. To have them dragged out, just move it like that, and if you want to delete it, so that slammer actually would not be able to move. It would still shoot because it has a gunner and a commander, but it wouldn't move, for example. So same with blue 4, same with op 4, same with independent, same with civilian. I think that's self-explaining. And here we have the buildings again. That's this one. The compositions, as you can imagine, are a bit more complex and very useful when it comes to Zeusing. Just place down a fire team and then you have the fire team. Triggers, I don't really use them because as far as I can tell, these objects are not going to work in PubZeus, so just ignore it actually. At least I don't really use it. So waypoints are very helpful when it comes to a person. Let's have it that way. You just select that guy, click on waypoints, click on move. Make sure to hold the left control key. If you wouldn't, it would just stop. But we don't want to have it stop. We want to have a perfect moving. So hold the left control key, click here, 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 and here. As you can see, the last one is close to the first one. Why is that? We have to set this one, double click it, as cycle. So as you can see, these are not connected. So when that guy comes here, he will start again. At the first one, we're going to set the behavior. So he should walk slow and safe. That is the waypoints. You can also use more stuff like, would he be in a car or something? You could set that one to, I don't know, get out, for example, so he would actually jump out of the car, etc., etc. Here you can actually change the formation when it wouldn't be one, but more people walk in a column, walk in a closer column, etc., etc. This stuff I don't really use. Can also be helpful, but I don't really use it. So system, it's pretty much the same than with triggers. I wouldn't recommend to place it down. I'm not really sure if it's working or not. I don't really use it. The last thing I want to show you is the menu when you double click a vehicle or a unit, which shows you that option. Here you can change the type, here you can change the variable name. You can also add a code line here, which is scripting pretty much. Here you can have it locked or open. You can add health here. So if you want to have it perfect condition on 100, if you want to have it destroyed, just place it on 20. If you go under 20%, it might explode. So don't go on like 5% or something. Here's the fuel, full, empty, ammunition, the same. So what we're going to do at the end is to test all of this and have a small crash site or something. So we're going to add one of those. As you can see, we cannot drag it under the ground because of this one. Let's do it and have it a bit like that. Add this as well. I think that looks pretty cool. Here we go. So, and now I'm going to show you quickly the difference between all of these things. All right. So we want to have that helicopter a bit in the ground like that. One thing you need to know is that vertical mode, if it's enabled, you see that? So we don't want that. We should activate that so you can drag around that vehicle as you wish. So let's have it that way. I think that looks cool. Here we go. A bit more like that. So let's have the difference between all of these. What we actually want is that helicopter to be not to be destructive. So I don't want any other player to shoot it with a rocket. So it should be Godmoded. The model should be shown. Symbol object should be off, because if it's on, that helicopter will actually be shown in a perfect condition, but we want to have it damaged. Alright, so it's off. Simple objects are also very important to save performance. So what is a simple object? A simple object is the object itself without any informations shared to the server, like damage or stuff like that. Imagine if you have a building with 2 doors. The server needs to know if the door is open or closed. Also, the server needs to know if that building is damaged or not. So all of these stuff is going to be synchronized to the server all the time, except you set it as a simple object. And the simulation should be off as well, because if it would be on, I'm going to show you, if it would be on, it would interact with the ground and with objects. And if it would be a simple object, we're going to have a look. Here you see what happens when the simulation is enabled. But we do not want that enabled, we want it like that. Also, as you can see, it is not working, even if it looks like that, but you cannot interact with that anymore. We have to lock it later, so you cannot get inside. And that one was the global object, which looks like a perfect condition. And as I said, we do not want it, we want to have it looks a bit damaged, like that. So what we do is delete them. This one is the one we wanted. We're gonna lock it as well, so we cannot enter the gunner seat anymore, like that. There we go. And we're gonna add the pilot, for example. I don't know, fighter pilot, for example. We're gonna place the health to 0, so he's gonna die. Poor dude, he's gonna die. We're gonna add some blood as well. Large ult. And now we're gonna have a look. And as you can see, those pilots are dead right now. This crater is under the ground. And we can still enter the inventory, which is okay in my opinion, but we cannot enter that helicopter anymore. It doesn't flip away because the simulation is not active and it's not in the perfect condition, as you can see, because it's not a simple object. And that is how to use it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you learned a bit, and yeah, hope to see you around. Bye bye.